certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankin. This is going to be a fun one today. We're talking about top 12 Scarlett Johansson movies. So it should be interesting to see what happens here. But I've got a great panel here. I've got Brian Nussbaum. Brian, how's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me back on Rankin up to last week. It should be a good time talking some ScarJo.
Also, we've got a second Brian once StreamYard will let me bring him in. Also got Brian Michaels. Brian, how's it going?
Going good. Just got a last minute invitation, so I thought I'd show up and try to keep this list from being all Marvel.
Hey, me too.
Can we put like a max?
Three.
I asked. They said no. I'm personally limited to 3, but that's a me thing.
Okay, me and you report against anything Marvel after the first couple, then.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not officially limited to it, but if people keep bringing them up, I will step in. But yeah. But Stephen, we've also got Stephen here. Stephen, how's it going?
Going good. I only have 3 MCU movies on my yes list, anyways. So
There we go. So that's 3 of us. Go. So everyone else, once we're at 3, we're done.
3 as
Me,
well.
Stephen, Brian. All right, then we're all in agreement then. All right, sweet.
Well, we have a list of what, usually 12, is it?
Yeah.
12, yeah.
I can live with 3. I can live with 3.
Yeah. And also we've got JBO. JBO, how's it going?
Hey, I'm here, guys, to prove a point. Listen, you can date somebody for a long time, like me and ScarJo, and still, leave amicably. So I'm here to just talk good things. I'm glad she's happy with Colin. I found someone else that didn't work out either. But still, it just shows that me and her have no problems. You know what I'm saying? So.
Mm-hmm.
So if that how Rankin works was going to go around.
Yeah, and fuck you, Brian. You don't get an intro.
Well, I gave the bomb and I brought him in.
Oh, you didn't get one. That's true. Oh, then fuck me. You jumped over me then for him. Sorry.
But how Rankin Brooks was actually going to go around and nominate the movie I think belongs on a top 12 list, and if the panel say yes or no, if the majority of the panel say yes or no to it, it makes the list. And then at the end we will rank the 12 that makes the short list. But Brian, we're going to go to you first. What is the first movie you're going to bring up?
I'm going to bring a movie that she doesn't film that much, and I'll go with 2014's Chef. She doesn't film that much, but the back screen time she has is great with Jon Favreau. So I'll see how this goes. I'll do Chef. I'll go with Chef.
Stephen, what do you say about Chef?
I love Chef. I think it's great, and it's on my yes list. So I will definitely say yes.
JPO, what do you say about Chef?
Yeah, I know everyone votes differently on Rankin sometimes. I've always, for the most part, gone with this is not performances 9 times out of 10, this is movies. So yeah, I mean, and she is a co-star, so it's not like she's in for 2 seconds. So that's a great movie too. Love of food, great performances here. I actually kind of wish Favreau would do more things like this still here. Felt like he wanted to make a smaller movie in the middle of all his big movies, and did really good. And I hope he does another one sometime soon. Yes.
And Brian, what do you say about Chef?
Well, I mean, it's already in, so I'm glad I don't have to help decide that. I like the movie. She does have, it's such a small part in it, so I don't know if it really represents Scarlett Johansson, but I like the movie, so sure, why not?
Yeah. It's one of those ones that I do like the movie. And it would have been a lot easier for me. And it's one of those ones I get that. Yeah, she does have a small part in it, but she is still good in it at the same time. So,
next one,
Chef
sandwich.
So Chef is going to make the list here. Stephen, what is the first movie you're going to bring up?
I will bring up. I'll bring up a movie that is probably in my top 10 of all time. I absolutely, I fell in love with it when I first watched it, and it's only grown on me since when it came out in 2003, and which was a breakthrough year for her because she had the critical darling of Girl with a Pearl Earring, but she also had my first pick, Lost in Translation, which I just absolutely love this movie. She and Bill Murray have tremendous chemistry, and yeah, it's one of my favorites.
JPO, what do you say about Lost in Translation?
I'm not as high on it as some, but I'm high enough in the top 12. Yeah. Yeah, her and Murray are pretty good here. It's something maybe I'm due for a rewatch to see if I dig it a little bit more on the second watch here. So might not be too high for me here, but it does make the 12. So yes.
Brian, what do you say about Lost in Translation?
I'm the opposite on this one as the first one because I think Scarlett Johansson is really good in it, like her performance in it. But I really, really, really don't like this movie, so I'm voting no.
Yeah, I'm also not that big on Lost in Translation. I do like the movie. I do think he does a good performance in it, but of course, there's just a lot more stuff higher that
You said about the
You drowned at the end a little bit, Malcolm.
yeah, that's and
Oh,
out.
now you're out. Now you're back.
Yeah. But yeah, not that high on Lost in Translation. I do think it's a good movie. I do think he does a good performance. But it's I've just got other things that are really higher than it, so it's going to be a no for me as well. But Brian, what do you say about Lost in Translation?
I mean, it does feature Austin's favorite actor in it, Giovanni Ribisi. Forgot to mention that, Stephen. But yeah, for me, I'll give it a yes. It's in my top 12. It's a great performance, so I'll give it a yes.
That Lost in Translation is going to make.
I thought I was going to be the low one on it. Yeah, I like that it was a split one. Good. Now I don't feel so bad that I'm mid on it.
But JPO, what is the first video you're going to bring
up? Yeah, hell yeah. I was trying to look. I got a little confused there. I guess it was the same year. Oh yeah, because she was supporting an actress. Yeah, so her supporting actress turn in Jojo Rabbit, which would be really funny if you said no, Malcolm, who sits behind you. So yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's just maybe the best mix that Taika Waititi has because I think the humor's there, the heart's there. The main kid is fantastic. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of him. The other chubby kid got to do that shitty fifth Home Alone, but I want more from the main kid. All the side performances as well from her, absolutely heartbreaking. You know, of course, what happens to her character. If you know, butterfly in shoes, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tear, tear. Sam Rockwell's fantastic. You see the merchant in his role. Just a really, really supremely well done film. One of my favorites of that year. One of my favorites from her. Maybe my number one from her. Wink, wink. Jojo Rabbit.
But Brian, what do you say about Jojo Rabbit?
JoJo's a definite yes. I mean, the movie is great, and her relationship with her son was, basically the core of that entire movie. If he didn't bring it up, it might have been my first nomination.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a no for me. It does get.
I just like free posters. I got that on a whim.
I mean, I don't mind. I do actually like free posters. Yeah, no, Jojo Rabbit is a great movie, and I honestly completely forgot one of the kids in this wasn't a Home Alone movie because Scarlett was also in a Home Alone movie. Bit of a connection there.
Yeah.
That's going to be your first nomination, isn't it, Malcolm?
No, it's not. But yeah, Jojo Rabbit is great, so it would have been a yes for me easily. But Brian, what do you say about Jojo Rabbit?
I'll give it a yes. I do enjoy the chemistry between ScarJo and Roman Griffin Davis. It's great performance there. I do like a different performance from that year of hers more, but I'll give it a yes.
Stephen, what do you say about Jojo Rabbit?
I mean, fortunately, it doesn't matter what I think, but because it's making it in anyways. But I like Jojo Rabbit. I'm not as high on it as a lot of people are, but I think it's a good movie. I think it's. I would probably rank it, lower on the list than higher, but sure, I'd say yes.
But with that, Jojo Rabbit is going to make the list. Brian, we go to you. What is going to be for your first nomination?
My first nomination, I'm going to go with Michael Bay's The Island. I honestly think Michael Bay's best movies are the ones where he's not doing franchises and Transformers and things. I think that she and Ewan McGregor are great together in this. I love the way she plays that naivety in it. She looks as gorgeous as she's ever looked on screen. When she does get to do some action, that's lots of fun. It's just a great fun film. So I'm going the Island.
Yeah, this is this is the interesting one. It's one of those ones like I do think I am in the camp that I do think The Island is a good movie. But I do think and I do think she does have a great performance in it. But once again, it's just one of those ones that's just like really low down my personal list that I will have to say no, but I don't hate the movie. I think it's great. I do think it does get overhated, so it's going to be no for me though. But Brian, what do you say about The Island?
I had to say this one. I haven't seen it.
Stephen, what do you say about The Island?
I think the first act of that movie is great. I think the second act is enjoyable in a dumb kind of way, but the movie loses me in its third act, and that's why I'd have to say no.
JPO, what would you have said about The Island?
No, this would have been a yes for me. Yeah, I'm surprised to see what you guys are going to mention now, because now I'm going to have to kind of reorder my list here to see what I'll have to now give a pity yes to. No, I think it's enjoyable. I don't know. I get what people are saying about the second or third act, but I just kind of went with it here because even from the first act, it's kind of this aloof, kind of fun story here. Almost Logan Run-ish to a degree here. I love their first kiss when they're kind of like figuring shit out and whatnot. So, Buscemi's fun. So, yeah, I would have said yes. This is a fun one.
But unfortunately, The Island isn't going to make the list. And it's going to be my first pick here. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to go for the first MCU movie, but I'm going to go for one that doesn't get a lot of love, but I do think it's a good movie, and I'm going for her solo movie, Black Widow. Like, it's one of those ones. Like, while she probably should have got a solo movie much earlier on. But I think the movie itself is still good. Like, and David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, Florence Pugh, supporting is really good as well. And I think the movie is pretty solid, and she definitely does shine in Black Widow. And and I think for her solo effort, I think it was a good movie. So let's see how this goes. But Brian, what do you say about Black Widow?
Yeah, I do enjoy Black Widow. I do enjoy the family aspect. Even enjoy David Harbour, I just mentioned. But for me, for MCU, I'll give it a no.
Stephen, what do you say about Black Widow?
I thought the movie was, it was just okay. It's kind of a middling MCU movie. So it's not one of the three MCU movies that I would say yes to. So it's going to be
JPO. What do you say about Black Widow?
Unfortunately, Malcolm, I'm going to third them as well, man. Yeah, this is good. It's a thumbs up for me technically on the even Roper scale, but for just limiting MCU and probably actually even if I wasn't limiting MCU, this is not in my top 12.
And Brian, what would you have said about Black Widow?
I'm starting to remember why I stopped doing rank them. Because I'm going to hate this list. Widow, I would have definitely, if I was going to put even one MCU movie, I'd probably put this one on there just because she gets to be on it, she gets to shine, she gets to be the star of it. Her relationship with both her sister and her, adopted parents, whatever. I think that, while the movie and action and stuff doesn't live up to, some of the other MCU ones, this is the one that I would have put on a list for Scarlett Johansson, and so it would have been that was a yes for me.
Yeah. But Brian, we go back to you. What is your next nomination?
I'm going to try for MCU for this one. I'll go with Civil War this one, even though she doesn't have a lot of screen time because we're focused on the Cap story. But the screen time she has with the team is great. So I'll go with Civil War.
Stephen, what do you say about Captain America: Civil War?
I love the movie. I think it is top tier MCU movie, but I just think there are other MCU movies that um, she's better utilized in. This one, she doesn't really have a whole lot to do, so I'd say no to Civil War.
JPO, what do you say about Captain America: Civil War?
This is why I wish we would talk in the private chat and decide, are we voting on performance or movie? Because again, I feel like we're just having two different discussions here. Because I'm with Brian on this one here, so I'll even it out for now. I think again, she's in enough. She's like the fourth on the poster. It's a really good movie. And if you go movie wise, it deserves to be here. But if it doesn't make it, I get it. What you're going for?
Brian, what do you say about Captain America?
Nope, should have been Black Widow.
So, was that a no?
Doesn't know.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just checking. Yeah, no. This is tough because I do like Civil War. I think it is good. But yeah, she just doesn't she really doesn't have a lot of screen time in the movie, and it's more about like the whole Cap versus Tony aspect than it is. And so yeah, I'm sadly going to go a slight no on this too. But Stephen, what is your next nomination?
For my next nomination, I'll bring up a movie that she's not physically in; she's only heard, and that is Her. I just think this movie is phenomenal, and both she and Joaquin Phoenix are both incredible in this movie. I mean, and yeah, I mean, it was in my top 128. I love this movie, so Her.
JPO, what do you say about Her?
It's a big yes for me. Yeah, no, I mean, she's obviously a supremely pivotal part here. In fact, they replaced the original actress with her voice because they felt that it worked that much better. And yeah, I think it's a really unique, interesting film of the time as well. And yeah, I think it's a big old yes.
Brian, what do you say about Her?
This is one that I knew was going to be on this list, even though I don't really like the movie. But a large part of that is I don't really like Joaquin Phoenix. I really dislike him as an actor. I like her voice work was okay. The same story I think is done better in Jexy. Yeah, I said it. I enjoy that movie a lot more.
What? Can I unsend my invite real quick? Can I delete the link that I sent to Brian?
But yeah, I would have said no, but I'm sure it's going to make it.
Funnily enough, I'm going to second Brian. Like, Jexy is actually really fun.
I like Jexy, but say it's better than Her.
Well, I wasn't going to go that far because I do really like Her. I think Her is a great movie. And yeah, it's easily a yes for me as well. Brian, what do you say about Her?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a yes as well. I do enjoy the performance by Joaquin and Scarlett Johansson, and also it's like we're into now with the whole AI situation, and also plus Oscar should got Scarlett should got nomination for this role, even though it's a voice, she still should got nomination. So I'll give it a yes.
That Her is going to make the list. JPO, we go to you for your next nomination.
All right, guys. Well, we said we're going to let a couple of them in. Let's see if Mike can get in from the MCU. I'll go Avengers Endgame. I mean, she fucking sacrifices herself. She's got a really pivotal moment. Technically, this should have been the end because they should have done Black Widow years before. That's my other problem with Black Widow is that I'm sorry I get a little sucked out on a prequel where I know she's obviously going to come out in the end. Pivotal moment for her. Pivotal moment for the entire fucking series. Like, this is kind of the finale for some of our favorite characters, including her. Endgame, baby.
Ryan, what do you say about Avengers Endgame?
I figured at least one of the two has to make this list. Endgame or Infinity War. Maybe even both of them. And when it comes down to it, especially since we've already voting stuff down and we're going to be scraping some pretty shitty movies to fill out this list. I mean, yeah, I think the fact that this is kind of like her big moment, the crescendo of her character, the sacrifice and everything, I would give it a yes.
Yeah, that's one of the I love Avengers Endgame and yeah, I think she is in a good chunk of the movie, and I think she definitely does a lot. And it is a big pivotal moment for her as well. So it's going to be yes for me for Avengers Endgame. Brian, what do you say about Avengers Endgame?
Yeah, I also agree. Endgame is my favorite MCU movie. I do enjoy. I agree with the rest of the panel that she made a pivotal part of the film. She has a good amount of screen time, so yes.
And Stephen, what do you say about Avengers Endgame?
Even though Black Widow, she's the star of Black Widow, I actually think Endgame is the movie that she has the meatiest part of the MCU. And plus, it's my favorite MCU movie, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So definitely yes for Endgame.
So yeah, Avengers Endgame is going to make the list. Brian, we're going to go to you next. What is your next nomination?
Um,
Black Dahlia.
I guess I'll go for our second MCU one. I think that beyond those, I think that her best part in the MCU is in Winter Soldier. After kind of a brief introduction, Iron Man 2, and then of course there's the first Avengers, but I think this is the one that she kind of really kind of grew into the character, who we then knew on further Avengers movies after that. And I think it's one of her stronger performances. And plus, I think it's just one of the best MCU movies.
Yeah, I think Captain America, the Winter Soldier, is great, and yeah, like Black Widow, it does have is definitely pretty much a co-lead and does have a major part in this as well. And yeah, it's I think it's also just a really good movie, and yeah, I think it definitely deserves to be on this list. So it's a yes for me for the Winter Soldier. Brian, what do you say about the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, I do enjoy the Winter Soldier a lot. Of her chemistry with Chris Evans a lot. She has a great amount of screen time, as explained by Yellow Palace. I'll give it a yes.
Stephen, what do you say about Captain America: Winter Soldier?
It's a yes for me for sure. I think she and Chris Evans have, once again, she has great chemistry with Chris Evans, and it's probably, although she does have a couple of great moments in the Avengers, this one is probably the one that gives her the second one too.
And JPO, what do you say about Captain America: Winter Soldier?
No, it's definitely a big yes for me. As I already said, this checks off every box we want. It's a good performance by her. She's arguably, second, third biggest person in this movie. And then on top of that, it's also just a really dope movie here. I like the first one. Second one was easily like a T2 Empire Strikes Back, where I was like, oh, they fucking figured the formula out. And I think Winter Soldier is a banger.
That Captain America: The Winter Soldier is going to make the list. I'm going to try for this one. I don't know how it's going to go because I don't know how much people love this movie. But I actually really enjoy Rough Night. I think it's a really fun comedy. And I think Scarlett Johansson is great in the movie as well. And I think it's a lot of fun. So let's see what happens. Rough Night. Ryan, what do you say?
I am not. I'm going to give it a no. I'm not a big fan of this movie, so it's a no.
Stephen, what do you say about Rough Night?
So I know I've seen this movie. I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember too much about it, to be honest. Um, and I do think there are other better movies. So to me, it's fine if it makes it in, but I'm gonna say no.
JPO, what do you say about Rough Night?
I just rewatched this for the third time, and it didn't bump up on my list any more than I previously thought of. It has its moments here. You got a really game cast, but the laughs just aren't there as much as you want them to be. This doesn't even crack my top 25, personally.
And yet you watched it a third time.
Because I just like Zoe Kravitz.
You just like looking at him.
Red out, get out.
Because it's one of those, it's been 2-3 years. I was like, damn, that's a crazy good cast. Like, maybe it's better if I got it. Jillian Bell's fantastic.
I mean, I see where he's
But-
coming from because I wanted to like this movie. It's basically like a kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
female version of Very Bad Things, kind of thing. And I do like almost all the cast. So I wanted to like it, but I just really did not enjoy it. I honestly don't remember a whole lot about it at this point, but I remember being super disappointed. So I got to vote no.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But Brian, we go back to you. What is your next nomination?
Yeah, I'll see how this one goes. It's a recent movie. I'll go with Fly Me to the Moon on this one. It's a film. She has great chemistry with Channing Tatum. She played this ad lady who calls people and tried to call people on the moon landing. And I'll see how this one goes for Fly Me to the Moon.
Stephen, what do you say about Fly Me to the Moon?
Yeah, she is very charming in the movie, and she does have good chemistry with Channing Tatum, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So I mean, I think her character is sometimes confusingly written, but I think Scarlett Johansson is good enough to overcome some of those writing deficiencies, and I enjoyed the movie enough to say yes.
JPO, what do you say about Fly Me to the Moon?
I didn't mind it, but it's one of those movies that I just very hummed me. Like, it never got me to that next level in like any area. Like, yeah, ScarJo's good, but like he said, it's kind of sloppily written here. The ending, I'm smiling at. It's cute, but then it's one of those like, all right, what else is on kind of movies for me here. So, and it doesn't crack my top 20, so I gotta say no.
Brian, what do you say about Fly Me to the Moon?
It was enjoyable enough, but it would not make my top 12. So I'm going to say no.
I just simply haven't seen it. It's one that I meant to see, but I just never got around to it. But Stephen, what is
You can wait for
your
video.
Stephen? What is your next nomination?
I'll go with one that she got an Oscar nomination for. I think it's one of her best performances, and she and Adam Driver are amazing in this movie, and it's it's not the easiest watch, but I think it's a great movie is a great movie, even if it's a bit of a downbeat. And that's Marriage Story.
JPO, what do you say about Marriage Story?
No, this is a huge definite yes for me as well. This is maybe one of my favorite Baumbach films. Her and Driver are fantastic in here. I love the way it's edited. Everything in here I think is really good here. And yeah, between this and Jojo Rabbit, this was the year that ScarJo said, if you doubted me before, fuck your mothers, I'm awesome. That was a quote from her.
Brian, what do you say about Marriage Story?
I'm not a fan of Noah Baumbach, his mumblecore movies for the most part. Although, I mean, this is probably one of the better ones in my opinion.
That's what I was saying.
But it's just very much a downer movie, and it's not my taste. I'll say no.
I love being depressed.
Yeah, it's one of the I really like Marriage Story. I think it's really good, and especially the supporting cast like Laura Dern and I can't remember the other guy, but
Ray Liotta?
Aldo.
yeah, I think it was Ray Liotta was one I was thinking of, but it's just it's just really good, and it's definitely one that I'll definitely go back to more. So it's a yes for me. And Brian, what do you say about Marriage Story?
I'll give it a yes as well. I was late to this show. I saw it for the first time like 2 years ago, and I really did enjoy the real lot. Love the story cast. Love the relationship between Adam Driver and ScarJo. It also is a great modern version of Kramer vs. Kramer, so I'll give it a yes.
That Marriage Story is going to make the list. JPO, we go back to you.
Let's get in the way back machine. Let's go all the way to 2006. Christopher Nolan's The Prestige will be my nomination here. It's a tremendous film here. It's arguably, to me, one of the most rewatchable, my favorites of Nolan's here too. He's got a lot of tricks. We will get it between these two magicians here, and ScarJo too is not forgettable at all in this movie. As the assistant, she actually has a couple scenes that she absolutely commends, and it's a role that Nolan kind of wanted her for. So, Prestige, fantastic flick.
Brian, what do you say about the Prestige?
There were 4 movies that I knew were going to make this list that I wouldn't vote for, and this is probably one of them. I like it. If I voted for it, it'd be like on the lower end of my list. Christopher Nolan movies are, many of them, especially this one, I think are really overrated. Not all of them. I mean, there's a couple of good ones, but it's just a movie that just never resonated with me as much. I mean, the performances are fine. Just not for me.
Brian, check your DMs. I unsent the link, so I unsent the link.
Yeah, it's funny. Like me and Brian are somehow agreeing a lot too, because I like the Prestige. I'm not that high on it either.
It's fine.
Yeah. So I'm also going to say no to it as well. But Brian, what do you say about the Prestige?
I'll give it all, not because it's not a good movie, because it's been a while since I've seen this film, so I may have to rewatch this, so I'll give it a no. Sorry, JPO.
Oh, you guys suck. Fucking Rough Night you tried nominating? Oh my god.
Stephen, what
You voted off the island, so it's on you.
No. I was with you, asshole. I was with you. I was the only one with you on that island.
I meant you as a group.
You people.
Prestige came out the same year as The Illusionist, and I kind of liked The Illusionist a little more.
It's not the fucking discussion, Stephen.
But, actually, it's a testament to how awesome Christopher Nolan is that this actually ranks in the lower end of my list for Nolan movies. But it's still great. I probably would have said yes, even though
Thank you, Stephen.
I don't think Scarlett Johansson has as memorable a role as
we're not talking performances.
I still would have said yes, but it would have been like it would be like in the lower half.
Christ.
But
unfortunately, I'm gonna let in my list now. I guess if Alien Freaks gets brought up, I'll let that in.
I mean, it's all like the Batman didn't make the list, so it's all like that situation.
Yeah.
It's close.
What is your next nomination?
Well, we had Her, which was just a voice role, so I'm going to do another one. And let me just add, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean you have to vote no. You can vote yes. Because I don't know how you guys spent your weekend, but Transformers 1 just came out. I don't know who's seen it, who hasn't seen it, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. It's just, I'm not as over the moon, think it's the best Transformer movies ever made like some people do, but this is a really fun movie. It's kind of reinvention, its new take on it. The animation spectacular. I saw it in IMAX 3D. It looked great. Scarlett Johansson is a great job. She's kind of, the voice of reason among all these stupid boys that are kind of, fighting things out, things going on. But it's from the humor standpoint, from an adventure standpoint, from just kind of being so faithful to the original Transformers instead of kind of what Michael Bay once turned into. It's just a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but you should vote yes anyway.
Look, I've probably only seen one trailer on it, and of this, I don't remember. They showcased Scarlett Johansson's character in the trailer, so I don't really have a frame of reference of ScarJo in this movie. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to say no. But yeah, I mean, it does look really good though. Ryan, what do you say about Transformers 1?
Yes, same here. I haven't seen it yet. It just came out, so I haven't got around to it yet, but I'll give it a no.
I don't know if we have 5 more movies worth putting on this list.
Well, I mean, saying that it's better than any of the Michael Bay movies isn't really high praise. It's damning with faint praise, I should say. I can't say yes to it because I've never been one to say yes to a movie that I haven't seen. But I want to see it. It looks fun. Not like I was a little surprised at how glowing some of the reviews are because the trailer doesn't look like amazing or anything. It just looks like decent-ish fun.
JPO, have you seen Transformers 1?
Haven't seen it, and for Justice of Prestige, it's a no.
That's background to me, and I'm going to try for another voice role, and it's one that that I think is great. I think she has a really good relationship with the title character. I'm going for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Look, say like it's one of those like SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. I think is a very fun movie itself, and I think ScarJo has great as the voice of Mindy, the one that kind of helps send SpongeBob on the journey, gives him that courage to sort of to go on with the journey and all that, and it's just really entertaining. And yes, so let's see how this goes. Brian, what do you say about SpongeBob SquarePants?
I'll give this one a yes. It's a great adaptation of the TV series. Great fun adventure movie. Great road trip movie. She has great chemistry with the characters of her screen time. She helps the characters believe themselves. I'll give it a yes.
Sorry, I meant
Steve,
to be West. I'm sorry.
Stephen, what do you say about the SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
I haven't seen it. I've
JPO,
never
what do
seen.
you,
I haven't seen anything involving SpongeBob SquarePants.
JPO, what do you say about the SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
This isn't it, but not prestige. It's fucking crazy. If I ever meet you in real life, Malcolm, I'm gonna hug you, then immediately punch you in the face for all this ranker maker I've built up over years. Again, this doesn't even crack my 25, so no, it's fine.
Brian, what do you say about the SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
Never saw it, never plan to.
Unfortunately, it's not going to make the list. Brian, we're going to go back to you.
Let's hope this will make sense. It's a movie she fifth build the cast. The other FC movie, Avengers Infinity War. She doesn't have that much screen time, but she does play a good role in the movie. See how this one goes for Infinity War.
Stephen, what do you say about Avengers Infinity War?
I love Infinity War, but if we're gonna go with a third MCU movie, I think there's one that utilizes her better.
JPO, what do you say about Avengers Infinity War?
Ditto to Steven. No.
Brian, what do you say about Avengers Infinity War?
I'm going to say yes. I think that is kind of one of the. I don't know. I think she'll have to find them. Yeah, I'll vote yes on that one.
Yeah. This is actually tough for me because, like, well, it's one of those ones. Like, I do agree it is great. I do think like she does have a really good part in the movie. You know what? I'll actually say yes to it just because, like, looking at the other like MCU movies, she was sort of in. I honestly think that a lot of the other ones, like, she doesn't really have a pivotal one and is utilized well. So I'm gonna say yes. So Avengers Infinity War will make the list. Stephen, we go back to you for your next nomination.
All right, I'll finally bring it up. I doubt anyone else has seen it. It's one of her very first roles. But I love the movie. It was probably one of her breakthrough roles when she was I don't remember how old she was. She was probably in her teenage years when she made this movie, and that's The Horse Whisperer. And I think it's a great movie about this incredibly tragic accident and about recovering from this accident and moving on from it. And I think it's a really lovely movie. I think the cinematography is incredible, and Scarlett Johansson is so good in this movie that she outshines even acting giants like Robert Redford and Kristen Scott Thomas. And there was even Oscar nomination talk for her in this movie that unfortunately never utilized. Even though I think never came to be. Even though I think she deserved a nomination for it.
JPO, what do you say about The Horse Whisperer?
How dare you assume I haven't seen and loved this movie? You're correct, because I've never seen, nor do I know if I like this movie. But she broke out 4 years prior in the Elijah Wood classic North. So get your ScarJo facts straight. Brian?
I have never seen this movie, and I know how much Steven doesn't like to vote for movies he hasn't seen. So,
Yeah, our hands are tied.
But you know, I have seen this movie. I do think it's great. And it and as a running joke on tournament fights, Endgame is the only movie that's on the list that's longer than it. um, but um, but yeah, so I'm going to give it a yes. Brian, what do you say about the Horse Whisperer?
I haven't seen it, so abstain.
Fortunately, it's not going to make the list. JPO, what is going to be your next nomination?
All right. Speaking of roles that maybe helped her break out, I'll nominate Ghost World. She's got really good chemistry with her and Thora Birch. Is that right? And yeah, just a fun, day in the life of those two girls. It's based on a graphic novel. It's got really good writing. And yeah, there's another one that really helps solidify that she's got some range. So Ghost World.
Brian, what do you say about Ghost World?
I really didn't like this movie. It wasn't because of Scarlett. I think I just really didn't like, I don't know, the kind of style of it, the indie movie kind of aspect to it, and Thora Birch didn't like. But I'm gonna vote no on this one.
I watched this for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and it's one of those ones that I didn't know much about going in, and I thought it was quite fun. I think ScarJo is great in the movie, and so I'm going to go yes. Brian, what do you say about Ghost World?
Yeah, I was trying to find this film while streaming to watch. I couldn't find it for me, so abstained.
Stephen, what do you say about Ghost World?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, fuck.
Fortunately, Ghost World.
Angle my list again.
Is that top 10 or something, top 5 or something for you, JPO?
Brian, what,
no, just I have to keep. You're taking out a lot of my 5 through 12. So.
Brian, what is your next nomination?
I'm gonna go with one I think is underrated. And that is Luc Besson's Lucy. There's another movie I think it's kind of the kind of sci-fi action film that she finally got to kind of showcase herself in as far as non-MCU movies. After some misfires like Ghost in the Shell and things like that didn't quite hit. I think it's a clever concept. I think she plays the part very well. It's got a great supporting cast. The Morgan Freeman's in there, and you know what? I really enjoyed this, and I think it's well done and it's kind of original. So we'll give this one a shot.
Unfortunately, I can't go with you on this one, Brian. I just didn't get into it. Well, I think the concept itself is a good concept. I just don't think it utilized the concept as good as it could have. So I'm going to say no. But Brian, what do you say about Lucy?
Yeah, I watched this few years ago. I wasn't a big fan. Tried to give it a rewatch. Wasn't a fan then, so no.
Stephen, what do you say about Lucy?
I'm going to give it a yes. But as far as the concept goes, the whole we only use what percentage of our brain thing has been debunked a long time ago.
That's why it's called science fiction.
But I still enjoyed the movie a lot.
Characters.
Especially the last third. I think the movie gets better and better as it goes along. And it ends just when it's getting really awesome, unfortunately. But I would have loved to have seen what happens next. But overall, I think it's a highly enjoyable movie, so I would say yes.
JPO, it comes down to you. What do you say about Lucy?
I just thought about it.
Then my answer is gonna be no. I think it's a messy movie here. I think, like Mom said, I don't think it knows what to do with its premise here. I don't like the ending. Luc Besson, I think, is a piece of shit, supposedly. This doesn't work for me. Again, not even in my top 30.
Also, I just realized Ghost in the Shell is 3 years after this, so ignore what I said.
I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to try it anyway.
You need to make T-shirts up, Malcolm. Raycom on the back. I don't know how this is gonna go, but ...
Well, I mean, there's a reason because I know the director that did this movie, a lot of people is not that loved by the film community. But I'm talking about Asteroid City, directed by Wes Anderson. And I think
No, that's just
ScarJo.
dumb. I'm gonna mute myself.
But I think Asteroid City is great, and I think Scarlett Johansson, I think, is really good in the movie, and yeah, and it's definitely one of those ones where like it's a large ensemble, and like everyone gets time to shine. Like so, not a lot of them appear a lot in the movie, but I'm gonna see how this goes. And yeah, Brian, what do you say about Asteroid City?
Yeah, this is one of those films I haven't got around to see yet, so abstain.
Stephen, what do you say about Asteroid City?
Well, I love Wes Anderson for the most part. There's only one movie of his that I've seen that I hated, but everything else I've liked. But I haven't seen this one.
JPO, what do you say about Asteroid City?
God damn it, guys! This is a yes for me. It wasn't originally, but with finagling my list and what has been said no to, it has now become a yes. Yeah, I like Wes Anderson a lot recently here. It's probably my least favorite of his last few films. There's still a lot to be liked, and I actually do like the back and forth between her and my boy Jason Schwartzman.
Brian, what do you say about Asteroid City?
Haven't seen it.
Oh God, why do you see everything? This list is we're gonna be on that. North is gonna make it.
And I was scraping to find like 3 or 4 more to nominate. I'm like, okay.
Brian, what is your next nomination?
Let's see how this one goes. I'll go with 2016's The Jungle Book on this one. Not the film that much different to see, but she plays a good role, telling Mowgli his backstory. It's a good performance there. See how this one goes for The Jungle Book.
Stephen, what do you say about The Jungle Book?
The movie itself is good, but not great. But I do love her voice work in this movie. It's good enough that I guess it'll probably be like it's okay for like number 11 or 12. So sure.
JPO, what do you say about The Jungle Book?
Hey, we got one in, boys. It's a yes. No, this is the last movie that gets nominated. That was actually in my organic list as well. I enjoy this one here. A lot of these remakes felt unnecessary. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe because I didn't grow up loving the original. I actually really liked this slightly grittier remake and dug lots of things about it. So it's a yes for me.
Brian, what do you say about The Jungle Book?
I actually would have said no. Partially because I haven't seen it, but also because to me, I think the only live action Disney, these remakes that really should exist. I like the ones that take like a different kind of angle on the story, whether it be like Maleficent or Cruella or something like that, where it's kind of a different take on the story or kind of an adjacent story. Those I see they have a reason to exist. These ones that just basically remakes, I'm like, eh.
This one has a lot less singing, which I enjoyed.
And you got Christopher Walken.
And him.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like I do definitely get Brian's point about the live action remake, and this is one that like I would argue that like it didn't really need them because like the majority of it would have been CG anyway. Like it's literally the live action guy acting against green screen for most of the movie. But yeah, I still would have said yes. I still think it's a really good adaptation of the book. It's just like JP. I wasn't a overly big fan of the original animated one. So Jungle Book is going to make the list. Stephen, what is your next nomination? Got 3 spots left.
Yeah, we'll probably still have 3 spots because my next pick is one that I'll be surprised if it makes it in, but pleasantly so. It's a movie I love, but I think most people probably think it's mid. Um, and that's because I'm sure a lot of people know I'm a huge Cameron Crowe guy, and I love We Bought a Zoo, and she has a pretty good role in it. I mean, she's helping Matt Damon, with keep the zoo going. She's really passionate about it, and I think it's a really lovely movie.
JPO, what do you say about Reporter Zoo?
The last two nominations have been what would have been my next two nominations: Jungle Book, and then now it was going to be We Bought a Zoo. So now I got to go to my third because this is a yes for me. No, this is actually on the cusp of my actually organic list as well. I think this movie is very earnest and cute, and I like it. I think it works for what it's going for, which is just a nice, earnest family fic here. Damon's really good. Johansson, I think, really shines. I like it, and so far it's our boy Crow's last film too. So come on, Crow, come back. I'm sure you got other things you want to talk about.
Well, his last movie was actually Aloha, but
Aloha.
That was horrible.
Oh, sorry. See, that's
Well,
why I
that's
forgot.
very
Because I tried to black that out of my head. The last good movie was this one.
But Brian, what do you say about Reporter Zoo?
His last good movie was actually in 2000 with Almost Famous. He hasn't made a good one since then. We Bought a Zoo. I don't think I ever bothered seeing it, or if I did, I don't remember anything about it. So I got to vote no.
And this is one I actually would have said yes to, just with the fact that a lot of the other ones I've got higher up have not made the list. So this kind of was slowly sort of moving up to the area I was happy to say yes to. So I'm going to say yes to Reporter Zoo. Brian, what do you say about Reporter Zoo?
Yeah, Reporter Zoo is actually a good family film as well. I do enjoy the relationship between ScarJo and Matt Damon. The relationship is great, so I'll give a sign yes.
So Reporter Zoo is going to make the list. We've got 2 spots left. JPO, what is your next nomination?
All right, we don't have enough pro wrestlers on the list, so let's go with 8-Legged Freaks featuring WWE World Champion David Arquette. This movie, I think it knows what it is. It's a fun, slightly throwback to just a fun creature feature here from Arquette to ScarJo, who I remember at first, like years later, being like, ScarJo was in that, but then when you do a rewatch, you're like, oh yeah, she's actually she's the main kid in it. Actually, here she just obviously grew up, so I actually forgot that she was the main kid in it for a while. Here, some good comic relief here. It's interesting too. The big spiders, the catacombs. It's a fun flick. I like it, freaks.
Brian, what do you say about 8-Legged Freaks?
So we're hitting this point where there's 2 left, and this one makes it 1 left, where people are just going to start voting against anything that's not their pick because there's only so many spots left. But at the same time, I don't have much left that I care that much about. It was fun for what it is. It would not have made my list at all, except you guys voted down most things I wanted. So sure, why not?
I just don't like the movie. I'm still going to say no regardless. Brian, what do you say about 8-Legged Freaks?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of spiders, but I'll give it a no.
Stephen, what do you say about 8-Legged Freaks?
You definitely look like you were about to say that. I'm not a big fan of spiders, but what do you mean? Phil? That didn't make any sense.
I mean, I hate spiders, but Arachnophobia is one of my favorite movies. So,
Wow, what the fuck else more about this fucking list?
It's like, sure, why not? It's not a great movie. It's a mildly fun movie, but sure, why not?
8-Legged Freaks makes the list.
Wait, did Brian say yes?
I said no.
I said yes.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
But
I couldn't tell. I thought you guys said no.
I want you to remember that, Jordan. You remember that.
Yeah.
But yes, Brian, what's your next nomination?
I think this deserves a spot. I mean, since we only have 1 spot left and we're kind of scraping, but I actually really like this movie. Although it's not one of those ones, she's not the biggest part. It's an ensemble film. but the film itself I really enjoy. I think it's one of the more underrated movies from the directors, and that would be Hail Caesar.
Yeah, I also am a really big fan of Hail Caesar. I think it's definitely a lot of fun, so it's going to be yes for me as well. Brian, what do you say about Hail Caesar?
Yeah, I do enjoy Hail Caesar. I don't know if they're Coen brothers, but I do enjoy the screen time Scarlett has with her and Joe Hill. It's great. I'll give a slight yes.
Um, Stephen, what do you say about Hail Caesar?
I haven't seen it, but she was in another Coen Brothers movie that if it was brought up, I would have said yes to. Yes to.
Um, and JPO, what would you have said about Hail Caesar?
It doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah, it doesn't. I would have given it a slight no.
So I told you to remember. Your good thing didn't come down to you.
But if
That's
that
why,
Hail
that's
Caesar,
why I can tell the
Take
truth.
back my eight-legged freaks. Yes.
Oh wait, okay. In that case, I'll say yes. 4 yes.
No, I already made it. It doesn't need you.
but that Hail Caesar is going to make the list. That I'm going to go around to do some, and that is the 12th movie too. So that's yeah. Going to go around and do some honorable mentions. I'm going to start this off. So for me, I do think like both Sing and Sing 2, I think like surprisingly good animated movies. And it's one of those ones like people know my opinions on this at this point, but I do think Home Alone 3 is a good movie. Like I have a lot of fun with it. And the last one I'll mention is I think Hitchcock. I think she's great in Hitchcock as well. Brian, is there any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I had Age of Ultron, The Avengers, the two Sing movies. Where I do quite enjoy Scarlett is He Just Thought That It's You, and Don John.
Stephen, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, my next one is I don't know what people think of this movie in general, but I quite liked The Nanny Diaries. Also, a couple of Woody Allen movies, Scoop and Match Point. I'm actually kind of surprised Match Point was never brought up. Because I thought people love that movie.
Really not.
The only other MCU movie I would have brought up is The Avengers, because she has some really good moments in that. It's not a great movie, but the perfect score is a fun little teen movie. Another movie that's not a good movie, but it's a guilty pleasure, is The Spirit. And one movie that I think is underrated is Brian De Palma's The Black Dahlia.
JPO, what honorable mentions do you have?
Yeah, my next 5. I think only one of them wasn't mentioned ever yet so far. Don John actually has a lot of good moments here. Hitchcock, I agree, she's really good. Sing, fun enough animated movie here. I do have Match Point. It's on my honorables. And then In Good Company, I think it's actually really good. A decent little flick here with her, Topher Grace, and Dennis Quaid.
And Brian, do you have any honorable mentions left?
I think I just had 3 that I liked, that I probably would have been my next nominations just by default. They would never have made my top list, but I enjoyed them enough. One of them was In Good Company. And then also He's Just Not That Into You and The Perfect Score.
But that some of the ones that sort of came up in the chat that no one had mentioned, The Man Who Wasn't There.
Oh yeah, that's the Coen Brothers.
This audience member wasn't there.
Yeah.
But that was the Coen Brothers movie I mentioned that I would have said yes to as well.
That's a Coen Brothers movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of the lesser known ones. They also had like a love.
I know it.
Oh yeah, and the other Berlin Girl too.
Yeah. Other ones that were mentioned in there, I think I'm actually frozen on my end, but as long as you can still hear me, there was Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Come on, Woody Allen.
Yeah. But with that, it's time to get to the point of voting. In that, but Brian, what do you have for number 12?
For me, I have Hail Caesar.
Stephen, what do you have for number 12?
Eight-legged freaks.
JPO, what do you have for 12?
I have Hail Caesar.
Brian, what do you have for 12?
Oh, I wasn't ready yet. I won't. I put Lost in Translation.
And I also had eight-legged freaks. So I got 2 for Hail Caesar, 2 for eight-legged freaks. So Brian, Michael's eight-legged freaks. I didn't have to say the other one for them, but eight-legged freaks will be 12. Once my computer decides it wants to go, so I can do the banners. I will update the banners, but for now, Stephen, what do you have for 11?
The Jungle Book.
JPO, what do you have for 11?
Hail Caesar.
Brian, what do you have for 11?
Yeah, I said Jungle Book.
He's cheating. He's hedging his bet so his pick gets longer.
I'm going to go Lost in Translation.
I would have kept it.
Hail Caesar.
But that it sounds like it's going to be Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar will be 11. JPO, what do you have for 10?
We bought a zoo.
Ryan, what do you have for 10?
I actually went to Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Lost in Translation. Brian.
I have to finish everything, but I'll have we bought a zoo.
And Stephen.
Keeping Jungle Book.
You can take Leo's comment off, by the way.
Well, my computer had frozen up, so I wasn't able to do it until now.
I wasn't judging you, just saying.
But it sounds like we bought a zoo. We 10. Brian, what do you have for 9?
For me, Lost in Translation.
Wrong, Brian, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I still Lost in Translation though.
Stephen, what do you have for 9?
It's still Jungle Book.
JPO, what do you have for 9?
It's up to you, Malcolm. Jungle Book.
Well, I mean, it's going to be Lost in Translation for me anyway. So Lost in Translation is going to be at 10.
And there goes my number 1. Which I knew was going to go early because didn't know
that was number 9, wasn't it?
That's what I meant to say.
Okay, I was just making sure I wasn't screwing up.
That's I'm glad someone's keeping me on my toes. For number 8, I'm going to go Marriage Story. Brian.
Wow. She has those 3 times up on Jungle Book.
Stephen.
Jungle Book.
JPO.
Put it in, baby. Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
Brian. But Jungle Book will be at 8. For 7, Brian Nasbam.
Jojo Rabbit. I didn't have to talk about the whole thing.
Stephen.
Screw you.
Where is it? Oh, here it is. Let's see. Well, I guess screw me too, because I'll probably go with Jojo Rabbit as well.
How many left?
Oh, fuck you.
JPO, what do you have for 7?
Ryan Michaels. What are you voting for?
Probably not what you're voting for.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. So we can be simpatico and give JoJo a better chance. What are you voting for?
Marriage Story.
Fuck, I like that movie too. Marriage Story.
I'm also going to go Marriage Story.
Oh, darn.
I mean, it's one of those ones like you probably wouldn't have had to worry too much JPO because I was never going to go JoJo anyway.
Yeah, but if I didn't tie it, then it would have won by default.
Well, true.
Yeah.
But JPO, what do you have for 6?
You voting for?
What are you voting for?
Chef.
Yeah, Chef's not in that much. I agree, Chef.
I mean, I don't need to conspire with anyone, but I was going to go Chef anyway.
There we go.
I have Winter Soldier.
What?
Steven.
Okay.
Only
Mine's unpredictable.
my reasoning behind this is only because I don't think she has as much to do. Avengers: Infinity War.
What? Okay, cool. Good. Move off the better movie. I'm so confused.
But Chef is going to be at 6. So I've got 5 left. We've got JoJo, her Avengers Endgame, Winter Soldier, and Infinity War left. Brian, what do you have for 5?
Her.
I'm going to go the Winter Soldier. Brian.
Jamie, I'm going to put her.
Stephen.
Infinity War.
JPO.
Infinity War.
It's going to come to me for the tiebreaker. And
Let's spread these Marvels out. Come on.
And as usual,
Don't try and sway him.
well, I mean, it didn't have to because you know my feelings on one of those movies.
Hey.
It's going to be Avengers: Infinity War. Stephen, what do you have for 4?
Now I'll go back to Jojo Rabbit.
JPO, what do you have for 4?
Yeah, her. She's the voice. Yeah, I think that's the voice that I vote for her.
Her.
I'm going to go for Winter Soldier. Brian.
Jojo Rabbit.
Have I been to you yet, Stephen?
Yeah, I was. I said Jojo Rabbit.
So I got 2 for Jojo Rabbit, 2 for her. Falls on me to do the tiebreak anyway. It pains me to do this, but I do like both those movies. But yeah.
I mean, they're both top 5. So.
JPO, what do you have for number 3?
Malcolm, which Marvel movie you want lower?
Captain America 2.
Brian,
The
what
Winter
do you have
Soldier.
for number 3? I was also going to go the Winter Soldier. Brian
Winter Soldier.
and Stephen.
Jojo Rabbit.
But that Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and this time we're voting for the number 1 between Jojo Rabbit and Avengers Endgame. Brian, what do you have for number 1?
Endgame.
Stephen, what do you have for number 1?
Endgame.
JPO, what do you have for number 1?
Jojo.
Brian, what do you have for number 1?
Jojo Rabbit.
Little
Jojo.
And so technically, one of these movies is my number 1. I'm going to go for the one she has more screen time, which is Jojo Rabbit. So Jojo Rabbit is number 1.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but I mean,
Malcolm would never go against Attack.
I agree. It's a better role. Fucking Oscar nominated versus not. So.
I'm not arguing. Well,
you wanted it got it like number 7. Get out of here, Steven.
Part of the reason is, well, first, I don't love the movie as much as you guys do, but also I think she doesn't have as much to do in that movie.
She is the heart and the whatever. You're high.
Look, she has just about as much as to do in Jojo Rabbit as in Avengers Endgame.
And both movies die.
Yeah. We all agree.
Yeah.
She's really good when she gets murdered.
Off screen in Jojo Rabbit.
Dude, No,
We
when you
who
see
did
those
what.
shoes and you realize, like he realizes, your heart is way more aflutter than her with the fucking soul stone or whatever she's trying to do with Red
Yeah.
Skull.
Anyway, with that being said,
Yeah.
this is the top 12 Scarlett Johansson movies according to this panel. At 12, we've got Eight-Legged Freaks. At 11, we've got Hail Caesar. At 10, we got We Bought a Zoo. At 9, we had Lost in Translation. At 8, we had The Jungle Book. At 7, we had Marriage Story. At 6, we had Chef. At 5, we had Avengers in Infinity War. At 4, we had Her. At 3, we had Captain America the Winter Soldier. At 2, we had Avengers Endgame. And number 1, we had Jojo Rabbit. But with that, that is the end of ranking for this week. Next week, I was hoping to, I was secretly hoping that one of the options wins. So it was like, we're going from one half of Marriage Story to the other half, but unfortunately, Adam Driver movies did not win the poll. It is going to be top 12. It is going to be top 12 Final Destination death scenes,
Chad,
which means,
watching you make me
which means
happy.
Chad is going to be blowing up my DMs any minute now.
What a sad episode. No, I think this is a better murder. No, I think this is a better murder.
Hey, I love this subject actually.
It'll be a fun watch.
But Brian, where can people find you online?
For me or Michael's?
You.
Okay. Plugs, you can find me on the Pierce Code during ASAP.
That's me.
Yeah, with JPO. I might be on later. I'm not sure. I signed up for it.
Nope.
Okay. I'll be on Turnerfest tomorrow for the best of 2000s. With JPO will be there as well.
Hey, it's me.
Yep. I appear sometimes. Multiplex, Lifestyle Trivia, Dill Pickle, any other places you can find me on.
Stephen, where can people find you online?
You can find me here and there. I'm around sometimes.
JPO, where can people find you online?
Yeah, as previously mentioned, the Piersco. Lots of movie trivia, top 10s, drafts, bracket battles, other shenanigans happening over there. Pierce Wrestling, exclusive matches, trivia. We got the Lonely Marks podcast on Lonely Marks channel on Thursdays where we talk wrestling. Let's see here. Our friends over at Why We Love Horror, Multiplex, about to film some more stuff for Multiplex. Protect your neck. We're gonna take you down, Brian. You old son of a bitch. You're going down. Huh? How's that feel? I don't know.
I mean, it's a good trio team for JPO and Armu and Dylan.
Yeah. I'm a Dylan and JPO killing it. Should have won our first match. We're doing a Rocky style.
Well, you're pitching the match that it isn't even scheduled, so who knows how long until it actually airs. So. But go ahead, plug it now. Get the build up going.
Yeah.
No, I'm around. I don't do trivia and stuff as much as I used to, but I still show up. I'm still fan zone debate champion over at Multiplex. I do some stuff with Sean over at Movie Crusaders. Once in a while, I'll show up on JPO stuff. I'm around.
And yeah, you can find me on Tape Productions hosting Random every week. Next week will be top 12 Final Destination death scenes. You can also find me on my own channel where I do my wrestling shows Fear from the Past. Each week, I'll have Matt Majo on this week to talk about Judgment Day 2007. And you can also find me popping up from here and there. And yeah, but until next time, just
keep ranking shit.
And as I find a clip to go, as I find a clip to go out on, hope that my computer doesn't freeze.
Close up shop. Close up shop. Close up shop.